Let's be honest. In today's world, cybersecurity is way more than just a shield. It's a full-blown, high-stakes arms race. And the scary part? The old ways of defending ourselves just aren't cutting it anymore. So, today, we're going to break down how artificial intelligence is quickly becoming the most critical weapon we have for protecting our digital lives. All right, here's our game plan. First, we'll get into the weeds of the problem, this arms race that security teams are, frankly, losing. Then we'll dive into the solution with AI, see how it actually works, check out some incredible real-world wins, and finally, take a look at what the future cyber battlefield is going to look like. So let's just start with the hard truth. For years, cybersecurity has felt like a game of cat and mouse. But the thing is, the mice, the attackers, have gotten incredibly smart. Our defenses, though, they've been stuck playing by an old rulebook, and the game has totally changed.
So what's really happening here? Why are the digital locks and alarms that we've trusted for so long suddenly falling apart? To get it, we really need to look at three major threats that are defining this completely new era of cyber attacks.
First up, ransomware. And listen, this isn't just about someone locking up your family photos anymore. This is a massive global extortion industry. I mean, we all saw what happened with the Colonial Pipeline attack. These guys can literally shut down fuel to an entire coast. It's proof that our most critical infrastructure is way more vulnerable than we thought. Next, we have the oldest trick in the book. And you know why it's still around? Because it still works like a charm: phishing. It is the perfect digital con job. All it takes is one really well-crafted email, one split second of being distracted, and an attacker can just waltz right in the front door using stolen credentials. And now for the scary part. We're seeing attackers use AI themselves. We're talking about deep fakes, fake video and audio that are so realistic it's frightening. They can be used to impersonate a CEO, trick someone into wiring millions of dollars. It undermines the very trust we have in anything we see or hear online. And this right here, this is the core reason why old-school security is failing. It's basically a security guard who has a photo album of known criminals. It can only stop threats that it's seen before. But what about a brand new attack, a zero-day threat that no one has a picture of yet, or a polymorphic virus that literally changes its appearance every time it moves? Well, to that old security guard, those threats are completely invisible. So, how do you fight an enemy you can't even see? You have to throw out the old playbook and change the rules of the game. And that's exactly where AI comes in. It's creating this huge shift from just reacting to attacks to actually predicting and stopping them before they even happen. Now, the engine driving this whole revolution is machine learning. And forget about some static list of bad guys. Machine learning does something way, way smarter. It just spends its time learning the unique rhythm of a company. Every login, every file transfer, every single email. It builds a super precise picture of what normal is supposed to look like. This breaks it down into three really simple steps. First, the AI just watches. It drinks from a fire hose of data. Network traffic, who's logging in, what files are they touching. Second, from all that data, it builds a baseline of what's normal. And then comes the magic, step 3. The second something deviates from that normal baseline, it flags it. I'm talking about things like a user suddenly logging in from 2 countries at once, or a server that never talks to the internet suddenly trying to send out data. AI spots that stuff in a heartbeat. And that is the AI advantage. It operates at a speed and a scale that's just physically impossible for any human team. It can sift through mountains of data in milliseconds, and it's constantly learning, constantly adapting. This is what it means to finally go on offense, to stop reacting to breaches and start actively preventing them. But it's not just about letting some algorithm run wild. Nope. The real power here comes from the synergy, the teamwork between artificial intelligence and the incredible, irreplaceable expertise of human security pros. And this is a super important point to get. AI is not here to replace human experts. It's here to give them superpowers. It acts as a force multiplier, taking their skills and just amplifying their effectiveness to a whole new level. This table just lays out that partnership perfectly. So take a look at pattern recognition. The AI is a master at spotting a tiny statistical anomaly across millions of events, something no human could ever do. But the human analyst can then take that weird blip and go, I wonder if this is some new kind of creative attack that no one's ever seen before. The AI handles the what, which frees up the human to focus on the why and the what if. So when AI takes over all the noisy, repetitive work, like sifting through thousands of routine alerts every day, it completely changes the job for security teams. Now they can actually spend their time on high-value, strategic stuff, actively hunting for threats, designing smarter response plans, and managing the overall risk to the business.
Okay, so the theory is great, but what does this actually look like in a real crisis? Let's dig into some case studies that show the real-world impact of AI defense when everything is on the line.
This ransomware attack on a hospital is just wow. The moment the AI detected weird file encryption happening on a medical device, it automatically yanked that device right off the network. The result? In just 2 minutes, the entire threat was contained. It stopped the ransomware from spreading across the rest of the hospital. Incredible. And the impact of that 2-minute response was absolutely massive. That single automated action avoided an estimated $1.2 million in costs from downtime, data recovery, you name it. That is a tangible, measurable victory. And that hospital was not a fluke. This chart really tells the whole story. Traditional security, that giant bar on the left, can take hours, sometimes even days to respond. An AI-driven approach is so fast, we're talking seconds or minutes, that its bar is almost too small to even see. That speed is everything. It's the difference between a minor incident and a company-wide catastrophe. But as powerful as AI defense is today, we have to look ahead, because this arms race, it isn't over, not by a long shot. In fact, the battlefield is about to get a whole lot more complex. The new reality is that the bad guys are using AI too. They're building malware that can adapt on the fly, they're launching automated attacks at a massive scale, and they're creating those deepfakes that are nearly impossible for a human to spot. The future of cyber is going to be AI versus AI. So, to survive on this new battlefield, our defenses have to evolve again. They need to become autonomous, acting at machine speed without waiting for a human. They have to be predictive, not just spotting attacks, but actually forecasting them. And they have to be future-proofed, getting ready for threats like quantum computing that could shatter all of today's encryption. And all of this brings us down to one single critical question. In a world where attackers are armed with AI, a passive, reactive defense is a guaranteed way to lose. The question every single one of us has to ask is no longer if we need a smart defense, but is our defense smart enough?